Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Can you all hear me and see the screen clearly and properly? Yes, tell me. Yes, can you all? One second, let me refresh the page. I'm not receiving any of your chats. One second. One second, let me refresh the page so that everybody's chat becomes clearly visible for me. Guys, please just tell me whether you all can hear me, see the screen properly and clearly. Just tell me. Good afternoon, everyone. So please just tell me whether you all can hear me and see the screen. Good afternoon, everyone. So please just tell me whether Yes, perfecto. So in today's class, we are gonna learn about, sorry, the slide have been slightly changed. Yes. So in today's class, we would be discussing about the lecture number 3 on digestion and absorption, alimentary canal itself. Okay. So without wasting too much of time, this would be a very short session because so many things, the details and everything we have studied in the last class itself. Okay, so let's get moving on to this chapter. Those who are watching the session, don't forget to hit the like button, to share it with your friends, and subscribe the amazing platform for NEET Biology. Let's get started. In the last class, we have studied the topic still our mouth. Can you please just recall those things and tell me that is what are the different kinds of what were the different kinds of characters that human teeth has? Can any one of you just recall those things and tell me so that we can move faster into today's lecture? What are the three characters? In the last class we studied there are three main characters which is known for the human teeth. What are the three main characters that is known for the human teeth? Yes, acrodont. Yes, it's thecodont. It's not acrodont. Okay, it's heterodont, thecodont, and diphyodont. Okay, so thecodont, heterodont, and diphyodont is the correct answer, and that is what we have discussed already in the last class. So, in today's class, we would be discussing on pharynx. Okay, this is just an introduction part, or just an introduction or a brief description about all the organs associated with the digestive system. Pharynx is the common passage for digestive and respiratory system. That is, it is a common passage for food and air. Okay, pharynx is actually a common passage of food and air. When food material passes through the pharynx, the cartilaginous epiglottis closes the glottis. Actually, the opening of the larynx, you will call them as the glottis. Okay, so guys, this is the voice box. This is the voice box. I'll use black ink so that it can be clearly visible. Look at the diagram. This is actually the voice box or the larynx. This opening you will call them as the glottis. This opening you will call them as what? You will call them as the glottis. So in this opening, above this opening, you have a thin flap. You have a thin flap which is actually called the epiglottis that prevents the entry of food into the trachea. That prevents the entry of food into the trachea. Guys, as we eat, it goes on like this. Actually, this, it will strike off with this and this gets closed and the food is passed through the pharynx only, or it's passed on to the esophagus. It doesn't go into this particular structure, that is the larynx. Is it clear? I feel the class getting bored because no one is responding. No one is responding till it's clear or not. Guys, what happened in the last class? You were so active. Yes. So guys, this is how the esophagus and the epiglottis, how it works. As the food is entered, guys, this is the epiglottis. Okay, this is the epiglottis. the epiglottis. Just imagine, as the food is passed, what happened? This epiglottis, suppose this is the food. Okay, in this food actually touches this epiglottis and it will come as a closure. Okay, this will come as a closure. I'll show you the diagram for that. Okay, this would act as a closure for that. Yes, right now it's visible. I can see your chats. Don't worry. You have studied in your 10th standard also regarding the same. So pharynx is the common passage of food and air. It actually passes through the cartilaginous epiglottis. It actually prevents the entry of food into the trachea. Okay, it prevents the entry of food into the trachea. Okay, that's all about the pharynx. Let's get going. From the pharynx, the food actually passes into the esophagus. So from the pharynx, the food actually passes into the esophagus. You know that this wave-like rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the esophagus is known as what? This is known as, tell me, this contraction and relaxation, the alternative contraction and relaxation of the esophagus or the alimentary canal is referred to as what? Absolutely, it is the peristalsis. Actually, by this movement of peristalsis, or by the process of peristalsis, the foot is actually moved or pushed downward. The foot is pushed downward. Okay, that is, esophagus is actually a muscular tube which is 30 centimeter that conducts food into the stomach. Posterior part of the esophagus has a gastroesophageal sphincter muscle. Guys, listen very carefully. Sphincter muscle. I'll use another color. Okay. Sphincter muscle. Sphincter muscle means it is actually a guarding muscle. Okay. Sphincter muscle, which is actually a guarding muscle. Okay. They act as guards that guards the entry of food from one position to the other. That guards the entry of movement of food or movement of substances from one place to the another. So guys, just check it out. That is, as the food passes through the esophagus, there is actually two sphincter muscle. There is sphincter muscle that actually guards the entry of this food into the next part. So as the food passes from stomach into the small intestine also, there are actually two sphincter muscle that guards the entry of food over here. Just as a security. Okay, in certain homes, in certain areas, you'll find securities, right? Just as a security, function of a security, they will also function by checking. That is, they'll allow only those particles. They will check and they would allow the particles to move through them. So since the muscle or the sphincter muscle is found between esophagus and the gastric, that is the stomach. So the terms you have to be by heart, that is a gastric, refers to all those things that refers to what? Stomach. Gastric glands, those glands which are present inside the stomach. So gastroesophageal sphincter, gastroesophageal sphincter. It is actually a circular muscle. It controls the opening of esophagus into the stomach. Very, very important. So guys, as the food passes through the esophagus, okay, you can see sphincter muscles are present. Okay, sphincter muscles are present. Clear? Clear? Is it clear? Yes. That is. Guys, this is the esophagus. Just imagine. Okay. Esophagus actually passes in one of which alphabets does the stomach similar to? Actually, stomach structure of stomach is actually similar to one of the alphabets in English, like A, B, C, or whatever. Can any one of you just guess it? To which alphabet does the structure of stomach similar to? Yes. Absolutely, it is the J-shaped muscular structure. Okay, 1 second. Oh my god. Yes, it is a J-shaped muscular organ. Okay, stomach is actually a J-shaped muscular organ. Okay, J-shaped muscular organ. So as the food is passed from the esophagus to the stomach, suppose it's the esophagus, stomach is actually a J-shaped structure. Okay, stomach is actually a J-shaped structure. Clear? So in this J-shaped structure, the part of stomach divided into three main parts. Okay, three main parts. So this is the esophagus. Okay, this is actually the esophagus. So there are sphincter muscle, that is the gastroesophageal sphincter muscles are present. Okay, so the part of the stomach can be divided mainly into three. That is the upper, this dome-shaped portion. It's not duodenum, dear. It's not duodenum. Duodenum is a part which is duodenum, jejunum, ileum. They are connected with small intestine. They are the parts of small intestine. Okay, this is brand new topic. Okay. Anyway, since your doubt have been clarified, I hope. Otherwise, you guys may be, at least some of you might also be having this doubt. Right? Duodenum, jejunum and ileum are parts of small intestine. Okay, the stomach, the dome-shaped portion, this is like a dome, right? So this dome-shaped portion, you will call them as the fundus. Okay, the fundus, then this large portion, this particular portion, you will call them as the cardiac. This large portion, you will call them as the cardiac portion. And the last portion, the posterior portion of the stomach, you will call them as the pyloric. You'll call them as the pyloric portion. So what are the three main parts of stomach? These are the three main parts of the stomach. Stomach is actually a structure, and the stomach can be divided into fundus, cardiac, and one more important thing, I have already told you that as the food passes from pyloric part to the small intestine, there is one more sphincter muscle. So the name of that sphincter muscle is known as pyloric sphincter. Okay, the part of that particular structure is the pyloric sphincter muscle. Is it clear? Pyloric sphincter. From food passes into the next part, that is the small intestine. So as food from the mouth is passed on to the pharynx, from the pharynx it is passed on to the esophagus, from the pharynx it is passed on to the esophagus, from the esophagus the food passes into the stomach. From the stomach the food is next gonna pass through the small intestine. So guys, repeat to me on the chat box, what are the different parts of the stomach? What are the different parts of the stomach? Just repeat to me. Different parts of the stomach. In order, you have to refer that fundus, cardiac and pyloric. There's a small portion named as the bone. You may refer like stomach has four main walls or four main structures or four parts. That is, one part is the body. Fundus, cardiac, pyloric and body will be there, but as per our NCERT, we don't have to study about the body, but it's not. Okay, just a small part. This is the body. Okay, as we have discussed, this is the body. Clear? So, stomach is actually a J-shaped structure which is used for storage and digestion of food. There are three parts. As per our NCERT, the slides are prepared. In certain reference guides, you will see four parts are there. That is, they'll classify the parts like fundus, cardiac, body, and the last part, that is the pylorus or pyloric part. Okay. Is it clear? So, three main parts are there. The upper anterior fundus, middle cardiac stomach, lower posterior pyloric stomach, or you will call them as the antrum. Okay, pyloric stomach. Pylorus part, you will call them as the pyloric canal or pyloric antrum, you can call them as. And the pyloric stomach leads to the small intestine is guarded by an opening which is called pyloric sphincter muscle. Important MCQ. The inner wall of the stomach bears longitudinal folds called rugae. Important MCQ. Guys, can you just recollect and tell me what were the finger-like projections in the small intestine known as? What were the projections in the small intestine known as? The finger-like projections in the small intestine is known as what? What is a finger-like projection? Yes, absolutely. It is the villi. So, like the villi, the stomach, this is the internal structure for a stomach. Look, it also has, inside the stomach also, you will have like this kind of longitudinal folds. Look, these are the longitudinal folds. This longitudinal folds, you will call them as rugae, which is actually the what? Foldings of these small, foldings of the stomach. Clear? Is it clear for everybody? So that's over here. Okay. Next part is the small intestine. Earlier, even though the term suggests you the small intestine, it is actually 7 meters long. Even though the term is small intestine, it is 7 meters long. It is 7 meters long and 2.5 centimeter diameter. It has 3 main parts. That is the duodenum, which is actually the C-shaped first part, jejunum, which is the middle part, and ileum is the terminal part. Okay, so guys, this is the small intestine. Okay, this structure is the small intestine. In that small intestine, you will have the C-shaped portion. Okay, from the stomach, this the terminal part, you will call them as the ileum. Just refresh the page. I'll wait for you. Just refresh the page, everyone. Just refresh your page and come back. Now is it clear? Now is it clear? Guys, just refresh the page and come. Just refresh the page and come, everybody. Guys, just refresh the page and come. Yes. Now I hope it's fine and clear. Yes, perfecto. So guys, at the end, I'll ask you certain questions. You can comment the answers for that on the chat box. Okay, so these are the 3 main parts of the small intestine. Next, this also we have discussed the finger-like projections. Oh my God. The finger-like projections called the villi are seen at the mucosal layer. Guys, by the end of the class, the last slide would be about the mucosa and all. So right now, just bookmark, that is the villi are found at the mucosal layer. Okay, villi are found in the mucosal layer. Just by heart it like that. We will discuss what is mucosa. Each villi has a brush-bordered columnar epithelial cells provided with a microvilli. Guys, just cells like this which have cilia-like projection. Just small microvilli like this. There are certain cells like this. Columnar cells having microvilli. Okay. Just this finger-like projections. There are certain cells like this. Clear? So you have to by heart that. Villus consists of a capillary network and a small lymph vessel which is called the lacteal. Okay guys, this also you have to study the lymph vessel inside the villi. You will call them as the lacteal. The lymph vessel inside the villi, you will call them as the lacteal. So what are the different points which I told you to remember over here? That is, the small intestine has finger-like projections called a villi. The small intestine has 3 main parts, that is duodenum, jejunum and ileum. Each villi has a brush-bordered columnar epithelial cells provided with a microvilli, and villus provide a capillary network. It has a capillary good supply of blood supply inside the villi, and it consists of a small lymphatic system or lymphatic vessel inside that lymph vessel Inside the villi, you will call them as the lacteal. Give me hearts on the screen if it's perfectly clear for everybody. Give me hearts on the screen if it's perfectly clear for everybody. Yes. Yes, thank you so much. And let's move on. Next is the part of large intestine. This is the large intestine. It is actually 1.5 meter long. It is actually 1.5 meter long. Three parts are there. That is cecum, colon, and rectum are the three main parts. Okay, cecum, colon, and rectum are the three main of large intestine. Let's discuss about each part that is a cecum. Guys, don't get confused. Cardiac and pyloric. Into small intestine, we study. In large intestine, we are studying about three another part, that is a cecum, colon, and rectum. No doubt should arise over here. Okay, everyone? Yes. Cecum is actually well developed in herbivores but very small in man. Okay, cecum is actually a part which is well developed in herbivores for digestion of cellulose and all. It is well developed in herbivores but it is very small in man. Arising from the cecum is a small finger-like vestigial organ which is the vermiform appendix. Vestigial structure. Vestigial means they are non-functional. As the evolution have happened, the appendix have become non-functional. Okay, that is all about the cecum. It is well developed in herbivores but very small in man. Okay. Yes, Rajneet. Yes, absolutely. Ileum is actually good. Ileum is actually longer than the jejunum, but the ileum, when we observe it, we feel like because ileum is actually like very highly coiled. Okay, so actually when we see, we feel like it is small, but it is actually longer. Then coming back to the slide, that is a colon. The colon consists of an ascending colon, a transverse colon, and a descending colon. Guys, when it's buffering, please do refresh the page and come back. Then it would be okay. Please just refresh the page. Okay. So guys, in this large intestine, you will have, this is the ascending colon. Okay, this upper portion, this is the ascending colon. This is the transverse colon. This is the descending colon. Clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Ascending colon is there, transverse colon is there, and descending colon is there. Okay? And the colon consists of an ascending colon, a transverse colon, and a descending colon is there. And the last one is the rectum. That is a pelvic colon leads to the rectum that opens out by the anus. The anus is also guarded by a sphincter muscle, which is anal sphincter. That's also a circular voluntary muscle. Is clear for you? Is it clear? And guys, one more important point as per our NCERT, you have to study this. The cecum act as a platform, or cecum is a small blind sac which hosts a certain symbiotic microorganism. Okay, the cecum is actually a blind sac where it acts as a host, or it hosts certain microorganism. It acts or helps to grow microorganisms. So microorganisms, symbiotic microorganisms are seen in the cecum region. Clear, everyone? So in herbivores, the large intestine consists of cellular, that is a cellulose digesting bacteria. That is why large intestine is more well developed in herbivores, especially the part called cecum. We have studied in the last slide, right? So cecum is well developed in herbivores. It helps in the cellulose digestion. So inside the cecum part, it has a small blind sac that hosts certain symbiotic microorganism. Give me hearts on the screen if it's clear. Give me hearts on the screen if it's clear. Yes, come on everybody. Come on. Yes. Guys, this is the next thing which we have to study. Okay, this is the next thing which we have to study. Listen very, very carefully. Okay, then only you'll understand. The human gut, guys, actually, we are studying a tube like this, right? The esophagus, the alimentary canal, we are studying a tube like this. So what we are going to do right now is to cut the tube. Okay, when I cut the tube and when I look, it would be a circular outline like this, right? A tube will be like this only, right? It will be attached. So when I actually cut it into two parts, then I will be receiving a structure like this. So that is actually this structure. Clear? That is going to be this particular structure. Okay, we are going to cut the alimentary canal and we are right now going to study the histology of the human gut. Have you understood what I try to convey to you? Have you understood the point which I try to convey to you? That is how we are going to study this particular histology or the transfer section. Guys, please just try to respond. Otherwise, the class would be utter boring. Have you understood? We are going to cut the esophagus or the alimentary canal into two and we are going to take it in a circular, in a transverse view. We are going to study that. Guys, if you have not understood, please do tell me. Yes, thank you so much. So, the transverse section of human gut has 4 layers. Okay, 4 layers. I'm receiving your charts in delay. That's why. Okay. So, 4 layers. That is, let's start from the outermost part itself. Okay, let's start from this outermost part. That is, the outermost part is the serosa, which is the outermost fibrous layer. Serosa is the outermost fibrous layer of the alimentary canal. And it is made up of thin epithelial tissue. Epithelial plus connective tissue. It's the composition of the serosa. Is it clear? Guys, as we move each part, please tell me if it's clear or not. Okay. The thing about serosa, is it clear? The thing about serosa, is it clear? Yes. Thank you so much. Next is the muscularis. Next layer, guys. This is a serosa. Okay, this outermost wall layer, this yellow colored mentioned. Okay, there is no need to, I think, to draw over that because everything is given in its own color. So, guys, this outermost, this yellow color, okay, this yellow color region is actually the serosa layer. Okay, that is a peritoneum or the serosa layer. It is made up of epithelial tissue. The epithelial tissue covering the internal organ, you will call them as what? The mesothelium. You will learn about this epithelium, mesothelium, all these things in the chapter tissues, okay, which we would soon be covering. Okay, clear? Next is the muscularis. Muscularis is outer to submucosa, that is serosa. Then the inner layer, inner to serosa, you have the muscularis. Okay, it consists of smooth muscle layer. Which is actually divided into inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. Inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. Okay, so the inner part is the circular and outer is the longitudinal. So if in the question paper they are asking you to arrange the following in the correct sequence, then serosa is the first outermost layer, and after serosa you have to write the longitudinal muscularis. After longitudinal muscularis only inner muscularis comes. Okay, This is a previous year MCQ question. Arrange the parts of the human alimentary canal from inner to outside. That is 1 year. Both the questions have been asked. From inner to outside and from outer to inside also they have asked. Okay, so you have to study this. The outer layer is the longitudinal muscle, inner is the circular muscle. Next, after that is the submucosa. It is a soft connective tissue, just lies outside to the mucosa. It contains the nerves and blood vessel. The innermost layer is the mucosa. It is the innermost, most epithelial layer, contains secretory and absorptive cell. We studied that villi is actually a finger-like projection which is actually found in this particular mucosal layer. Any doubts? Any doubts? Any doubts? Everybody, is there any doubts? And inside this mucosa only you will have what? The large cavity which is the lumen. This is the lumen. And guys, in this mucosa only you are going to find what? The structures like rugae. Okay, rugae and all is found in the mucosal layer itself. I hope it's perfectly clear for everybody. Yes, so let's move on. So that's all about what? That's all about the entire structures of what? The alimentary canal we have discussed in detail. Okay, I'm taking just 5 minutes from your precious time. I know you have class at 4:15, but let's move into a small discussion of certain questions. Okay, let's move on to a small discussion of certain questions right from the beginning onwards. Okay, just 5 minutes. We would complete that. So first question for you, everyone. First question. Human digestive system is composed of what all parts? Human digestive system is actually composed of which all two parts are there for human digestive system? What are the two main parts of digestive system? Tell me. What are the two main parts of digestive system? Tell me, guys. Absolutely, it is the alimentary canal plus the associated glands. Alimentary canal plus the associated glands. Next question for everybody. You have to listen the statement carefully and then tell me what is the term that's suiting it. Okay. The statement is this: each tooth is embedded in a socket. Each tooth is embedded in a socket. Its tooth is embedded in a socket of jawbone. In a socket of jawbone. This kind of dentition you will call them as, or this type of attachment you will call them as. Yes, there is no doubt for that. It is what is said to be what? Thecodon. Okay, this is how your questions may be coming for the exam. Okay, next question. What is actually the dental formula? Dental formula of an infant. Listen the question very carefully. Dental formula for an infant. Dental formula for an infant. I'm asking about infants. That's a small children. Yes, absolutely. It is 2102 divided by 2102 is the answer. Tell me, guys, which is the teeth which is absent? Which is the teeth that is absent in a school-going child or a small child? Which is actually the teeth that is absent in this infant? Tell me fast. Yes, it is the premolars. It is the premolars. Yes, very good. Yes, let's move on. And guys, this is the next question for you. This is the next question. Okay, let's move on to the next question. 1 second. Let me erase it over here. Yes, premolar and last molar, but when the question is based on a dental formula or something, we would go with the premolars only because we would count the already erased molars over there. Okay, we would already count the molars which were already being formed. Guys, the tongue is attached, right? We have studied, right? The tongue is attached to the buccal cavity or the oral cavity by a structure known as. The tongue is attached to the floor of the oral cavity by a structure known as dash. Absolutely, very good, Bhumi Yadav. It is frenulum. Yes, Rajneet. Yes, Binaya. It is the frenulum, which serves as a common passage of food and air. Which serves as a common passage of food and air. Tell me. Which actually serves as a common passage of food and air. Absolutely, it is what? It is the pharynx. Yes. Next is, name the cartilaginous flap that prevents the entry of food into the glottis. Name the cartilaginous flap that prevents the entry of food into the glottis. Name the cartilaginous flap that prevents the entry of food into the glottis. Very good. It is the epiglottis. It is the epiglottis. Okay. Next. Name the part of. Next part, that is name the part of large intestine that hosts a certain symbiotic organism. Name the part that actually hosts certain symbiotic microbes. That hosts certain symbiotic microbes. Which is actually the part that hosts certain symbiotic microbes. Yes, it is cecum. It is the cecum. I told you, right? Why? Because cecum, because it helps in the digestion of cellulose in herbivores. Okay, please do write. This is a previous year question. In herbivores or grass-eating organism, they help in the digestion of cellulose also. Yes, it's cecum. Don't. Guys, what is the organ that actually forms from the cecum? Name the vestigial organ. Bhumi Yadav, can you please make your question clear? The first part of the large intestine is the cecum. After that, it comes the colon, and the last part is the rectum. Yes, very good. Here the answer. The answer for this question is what? Vermiform appendix. Vermiform appendix. Vermiform appendix, it arises as a small finger-like projection. You might have heard about certain surgeries like appendicitis. It's actually a disorder, and you will actually remove this appendix. Due to the accumulation of certain materials over there, it gets filled, and you will feel excess stomach ache. You will have certain stomach ache in certain condition. Okay, so guys, bye-bye. In the next class, we would be studying about this topic, that is the digestive gland. That is, we have to study about the salivary gland, about the liver, about the pancreas, duodenum, villi, gastric glands, etc. Okay, so bye bye guys. Sharp at 4:15. Guys, I find some of you joining for this class may not join for the next class. So make sure that you join for both the classes. Okay, make sure that you join for both the classes. Okay, so bye bye guys. See you in the next class. That is sharp at 4:15. You have the class on viruses, which is a very, very important topic. So bye bye guys. See you in the next class with an important session on digestive glands. Bye everyone. If you have any doubt, you can ask me on my Telegram, and I hope everybody have done the homework, that is a DPP paper for the last class and all. Yes? So bye. Don't forget to join for the class sharp at 4:15.